It's like 2 p.m. Okay, I'm going to answer one email for the nonprofit. One email. And I looked up and it's 6:47. And I had reorganized my Google Drive folders. I'd watched about 45 videos about how to set up an automation that I could not for the life of me figure it out. I'd replied to like 17 Instagram comments, started some new notes in my phone, and I closed that same email like 4 times before I finally answered it. The one email I sat down for, still sitting in my drafts. Not today, but it was that Sunday. This is ADHD time blindness. And if you just laughed because it makes you totally uncomfortable and called out, welcome. You're in the right place.
Yo. Yo. Yes.
Yo, it's Alyece, say it right, no cap. ADHD CEO, yeah, we run this track. Systems that slap, brains built different. We make sales in our sleep, yeah, the hustle's efficient. This ain't fluff, nah, this is strategy raw for the ADHD. Minds breaking every law. Hit subscribe, don't miss a single show. We're running on dopamine, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, welcome back to the ADHD CEO podcast. I'm Alyece Smith, and today we're going to talk about time, specifically the fact that ADHD brains, time does not work the way everyone else's seems to work to experience it. There is now, and then there is not now, and that's it. That's the whole timeline. 5 minutes and 5 hours just feel identical. A task that should take us 20 minutes somehow expands to the entire day. And a deadline that is 2 weeks away is completely abstract. Like it is somewhere tomorrow and you are functioning on gas station coffee and sheer panic an hour before it's due. And if you've ever said, I'll be ready in 5 minutes and meant it with your whole heart, looked up and it's dark outside, this one's for you. I first want to talk about what is actually happening in your brain, because I think understanding the why makes it a lot less frustrating. ADHD time blindness is not being careless. It's not a character flaw. It's not laziness. Okay. It is a neurological difference in how your brain perceives and tracks time. And neurotypical brains have what researchers call this internal clock. Okay. A background sense of time passing that kind of like lets you know automatically, hitting you. And they look up from their task and their brain says appropriately, okay, it's been 45 minutes. I need to get back on task. I need to wrap this up. They feel a meeting approaching before it starts. ADHD brains do not have that automatic background clock. All right. We have active brains. We have to actively think about time for it to actually exist, which means the moment you get so absorbed in something, time disappears entirely. It doesn't slow down. It disappears like it was never a concept to begin with. And this is where I find it most fascinating and really inconvenient as someone with ADHD. Research shows that our brains have a much shorter sense of now, where a neurotypical person might feel like in the next hour or two, it's already in the present, so they're prepared for it. And it doesn't creep up on them the way it creeps up on us. But for an ADHD brain, now is basically the next few minutes. This is where we really struggle because anything beyond that starts to feel abstract. It's really far away, not real yet, don't need to worry about it yet, which is why the deadline 2 weeks from now feels like it's in another dimension or something until it is tomorrow. And suddenly it is very, very real. And then we're about to be very, very late. You're not bad at time management. You're working with a brain that experiences time fundamentally differently. And that matters because the solutions are different too. I want to kind of paint a picture of time blindness for you so you could see yourself in this. All right. And it's wild because I want you to feel this experience that I know you're already feeling almost daily. You set a timer to take a 5-minute break. You don't hear the timer because you got interested in something, or something was a Wikipedia article about the history of a vending machine. You don't even know how you got there. Or if you're like me, Alexa goes off and you're like, hush, subconsciously. I got to stop using her as my alarm because I must be in my sleep telling her off. But you are going somewhere, let's say at noon, and you feel like you got plenty of time, right? I got the whole morning. You do not start getting ready until 11:15, and you are now somehow surprised that it did not work out. Or someone asks you how long something will take. You say about an hour. It takes 4 hours. You genuinely believed it was going to take you an hour. You were not lying. Your brain just does not have a reliable unit of moment for this. Or you sit down to do one thing before a call and that expands. The call starts. You're still doing the thing. The call has been going for 10 minutes before you realize, oh gosh, I got to get on, right? Or you say, I'll finish this and then I'll start this. And the finishing takes until bedtime. And that never happens. You go to bed feeling mad at yourself, behind on something you technically started your day planning to do. One thing that I noticed, because I don't want this just to be me beating you up here, one thing that I have noticed is one reason we struggle to predict time. For example, I can get that done for you in an hour and it takes 5 hours, is because of our perfectionism. And that's a whole different ballgame. I've done podcast episodes on before. Is that we want to do it wholeheartedly. Now we're excited about it. We spend a ton of time doing it, whereas it may have been something super simple. This just means that you're paying attention and also that you are a real ADHD human being living a real ADHD life. You have to understand that. But I want to get a little real with you because I have tried all of the time management advice, right? I've said this before, I'll say it again. I went through a certification to become a high performance coach. And I got to talk to you about how spectacularly unhelpful most of it is for my brain. Probably yours too. Just use a planner. I've got 7 of them. I use each one of them 4 days and either forgot they existed or I didn't like my handwriting in the first 4 days and I threw the whole book away. Real life. Set reminders on your phone. Great. I dismissed them 17 times this morning without reading any of them. It has become an actual reflex, right? Or time block your calendar. Now, you guys know Flow First Thinking, the book. I go into my version of time blocking. I won't dive into that one too much because I teach you that in the book. But then eat the frog. Okay? Eat the frog first thing in the morning. I don't know what my frog is. I struggle prioritizing. I have 15 frogs, right? They're all staring at me. The problem with all of this advice is that it was designed for brains that already have like a functional internal clock. It just adds more structure, on top of the mechanism they're already working. For ADHD brains, we do not have that structure. We need more structure, but we also have to make visible time bounds and external because our brains cannot make it visible internally. This is the whole key: external, visible, impossible to ignore. I want to give you some tips. If you've never listened to any of my podcast episodes before, I'm very, very tactical. I want you to leave here with things that you can do. The first thing you could do is get your copy of Flow First Thinking. All right. I'll link it in the show notes. Hardbacks just came in yesterday. Super exciting. Tip number 1, make time visible. All right. You probably already have this, but put it right in front of your face. Alexa is right here. Like, she's hooked up, so I can't put, like, within my arm's reach. This is something that is so important. And they actually have certain ones that have colors, right? So as it counts down, it could turn red. You can see the time disappearing in real time. This sounds really basic, but it's also incredibly effective because your ADHD brain responds to things you can see. That's why you put stuff on top of the dryer, in your car, on the counter, so that you don't forget it as you leave. I've got it on my desk, and it does change how I work. If I'm starting a task that I know I tend to get lost in, set a timer, and I'll peek over, sometimes a little too often. But it is my single tool, right? Tip number 2, time yourself doing things that you always underestimate. This is something I've started doing in the last couple months. So I have a bad habit of underestimating, but I do build into my schedule buffer time because I know I'm bad at underestimating. And again, it's not because I just don't know. It's because I want to give it my all. So if you tell me to update a landing page, I'm probably going to rebuild it from scratch so it looks 10 times better. But pick one recurring task this week that you're always underestimating and time yourself doing it. Time it. Like, I have been timing a lot of different things and it kind of shocks me. But if I tell people I need 20 minutes when I need 47 minutes or 47 years, then I'm always going to be late. And so this is something you can do in your life and your business, right? Life and your business. And it's funny because my husband isn't the one who told me to do this, but He made a comment to me a couple weeks ago. We went out somewhere during Mardi Gras, and I was like, "Yeah, it's only gonna take me about an hour to get ready." He was like, "Lie, lie. It takes about 2.5 hours to get ready." And that's if I'm, like, doing the whole get up because I end up getting distracted or I do things in the middle. I don't just focus on getting ready. And so I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna start getting ready super early." I was actually on time that day, right? Once you have a real number, you can actually plan around it. You cannot fix a measurement problem without getting the right measurements first. Number 3, body doubling. That's a version of body doubling. My husband calling me out there, right? Body doubling is working along someone else, physically or virtually, and it really helps us stay regulated and on task. There's apps for this now. You can book sessions with this. This is why I have Focused and Free, my membership program, because we're holding each other accountable. Obviously, my academy as well. But it works because the presence of another person activates the part of your brain that can track time and stay engaged. Tip number 4, add transition time. Again, this is super simple. This is something I do, but I don't book back-to-back calls. I put a buffer in my scheduling tool for 30 minutes between calls. Same thing with doing something at the house, doing something with the kids. I schedule buffer time in between. We do not experience transitions the same way neurotypical brains do. We need like a ramp of time. This also helps you, especially in the morning with those tasks where you're like, I need to get started. Build it on purpose. Don't be surprised every single day. Build it on purpose. And the last tip, the flow first connection. Work with your time, not against it. This is the big one, and it is the whole flow first framework. It's all built on it. It's in the book. The audiobook's almost done. I'm very excited about that. But stop trying to do your hardest work in the worst time windows. Your brain has these natural energy peaks, and you want to time when focus can come more naturally, when the external and internal noise quiets down, when you can actually get in the flow. And it has a rough window. Time when everything is a battle and even the simple things take 3 times as long. If you know your peak windows and you schedule what is most important, work there. And you stop fighting your brain during the rough windows and you use them for lower stake tasks, everything gets easier. Not perfect, but easier. I just told you about last Sunday. It's never going to be perfect, but I'm not on a crunch on a Sunday. So I let my brain kind of wander on those days. But this is Find Your Spark Times, the F and Flow. And I do have a free Spark Time tracker. I'll link it in the show notes below for you, but everything you need is in here. It is the foundation. Everything else gets built on. So I want to end with something. ADHD time blindness has probably cost you a lot of things. Relationships where people thought you didn't care because you were always late, opportunities you missed because of a deadline, right? It felt abstract until it was gone. Shame you've been carrying about being bad at something that everyone else seems to do automatically. And I want to be really clear about this. You are not bad at time, okay? You have a brain that processes time differently. And those are not the same thing. The people who figured out how to be on time their whole lives had a built-in tool you did not have. They're not more disciplined than you. They are not more mature than you. They just had hardware you were not issued. Go get your refund. But the good news is that once you understand how your brain actually processes time, you can build external systems that do what the internal clock was supposed to do. You do not fix the clock, okay? You build a workaround, and workarounds, honestly, are kind of my specialty. So quick recap before I let you go. ADHD time blindness is a neurological thing. It is not a character flaw. If you want the full flow first system for building your business around your actual brain, grab the book, show notes below, shoot me a DM on IG. Let me know where you struggle with this. I want to talk to you about this. This is why I coach neurodivergent entrepreneurs every single day. And this is one of the things I see over and over and over again. Make sure you take a screenshot of you listening to this, throw it in your stories, tag me at socially.awesome on IG. I want to celebrate you listening. I want to celebrate you plugging in for your business. And before I go, I am speaking at the Neurodivergent Business Summit, and it is completely free to attend online if you want to be in that room with your people. Make sure to check the show notes as well to get registered for that. I will link everything for you down there. Now go set a time timer and actually finish the one thing you started. I love you. I mean it. Until next time, make it simple, make it social, and make it awesome.